right?
We're gonna...
How may I help you?
Hi, I'm Nancy Drew, the new deputy curator over at Beach Hill.
So, you're Joanna Riggs' newest pirate in training. How does it feel to join the ranks with the modern-day conquistadors?
I beg your pardon, but how does a deputy curator become a pirate in your book?
You had better brush up on your history, young lady. When the Spanish explorers invaded Mexico, they became known as the conquistadors, or conquerors. They robbed the indigenous peoples of their wealth, not just their gold, but their artwork, their sacred objects. Anything they did not steal, they burned to the ground.
Do you blame Joanna and modern-day art collectors for something that happened long before they were born?
There is more. In the 19th century, archaeologists discovered the ruins of ancient civilizations predating even the Aztecs. Many of the dig sites were robbed, and the stolen artifacts were sold off to art museums and collectors around the world. Today, finally, it is illegal among most civilized nations to remove an artifact from its native country. But sadly, there are thousands of precious antiquities with highly questionable provenance floating around the Western world.
What do you mean by questionable provenance?
An artifact's provenance is the story of its origin and ownership. For example, how it made its way from a temple at Chichen Itza to a museum in Washington, D.C. If the artifact's provenance reveals that it has been stolen, then that artifact must be returned to the country of its origin.
Then the relics at Beach Hill must all be legitimate, right?
No, not at all. Provenance documents are often tampered with or forged to cover up the theft. Because of this, thefts continue and a great deal of art is moved on the black market, even today. Unethical art dealers and greedy museum curators do nothing to stop this.
And to you, these people are no better than pirates, is that right?
If Joanna Riggs or that overstuffed pillowhead Sinclair had any decency, they would take measures to see that all Maya artifacts were returned to Mexico at once where they belong.
And what if these measures are not taken?
My country will have its due, Nancy, even if I have to begin reclaiming its artifacts with my own two hands.
I admire your conviction, Alejandro. Lucky for me, the Palenque monolith is only here on loan from Mexico.
I am still not happy that such a rare find will have its debut exhibition on American soil. But in my country, too, there are people for whom money talks. I will take those documents now. Thank you. I have some business with Joanna at the museum later, so I will return the contract to her then, after I have looked it over.
Are you sure? I don't mind waiting.
You may consider your mission accomplished.
Well, okay then.
Goodbye.
It's about time. Oh, my fears are like maggots infesting my poor old carcass. Want a cookie? They're from Oaxaca.
No, thank you. You said Beach Hill is in jeopardy. I need to know why.
The art world is being ransacked, Nancy. Prudence Rutherford, a major patron of the arts, had her fire ruby necklace stolen from her villa in Topeka. 2 weeks later, a whole display case full of rare Maya artifacts was heisted from a museum in New Mexico.
What does this have to do with Beach Hill?
I'm just telling you, this community, our friends and colleagues, my people are being systematically trounced by thugs. Who's to say Beach Hill won't be next? You've got to do something.
Doesn't Beach Hill have a security system in place?
The museum has a basic alarm system, but it's not exactly state-of-the-art. I've urged Joanna to approach the board about making some security upgrades, but she just keeps saying that the timing isn't right to ask for money.
With so much writing on this exhibit? How can that be?
Who knows?
So, you're looking for a state-of-the-art detective?
We need your eagle eyes. We need your bat ears. We need you to sniff out the stink of trouble.
I'll do my best, but it sounds like what you really need is a new breed of police dog.
Don't play modest mouse with me.
Okay, no more flattery. Hey, that's an interesting piece, there by your desk. Something tells me it's not a Maya artifact.
How about that rubber shark? The artist's name is Poppy Dada. She's a teenager in South Dakota. The art world is going bananas over her stuff. I'll unload that one for some serious dinero.
Is Poppy Dada her real name?
I don't know.
When you sell a piece of art, what kind of commission do you get?
Standard, 10%. It's no king's ransom, unless of course you sell something for $1 million. Too bad I'm not allowed to put that monolith on the market, huh?
Joanna says you performed an act of wizardry in helping Beach Hill acquire the Pacal carving.
Getting those provenance docs together was a pig and a half. Oh, they're on the up and up, I assure you. But to have been at the height of my career back before the crackdown, those were the days.
What crackdown?
Maybe sometime I'll tell you a sad story I call How Mexico Lost Its Sense of Humor. Not today, though, Nancy.
Alejandro says you're unethical, a modern-day conquistador, that you're robbing Mexico of its cultural history.
And I say Alejandro is the real bully of the playground, a lunch money extortionist who loves nothing more than to see the other boys and girls go hungry.
I'd better get going.
See you around.
Good thing Franklin gave me the museum key. Come in.
How are the tasks coming along?
Why did you become a museum curator?
I became a curator because I want to help make artifacts available to as many people as possible. That's all that matters, isn't it? Unless you're Alejandro Del Rio.
When did Henrik come on board?
I got an email from him one day saying he'd heard the news about Beach Hill getting the monolith. He said he'd drop everything to come here and translate those glyphs. He was even willing to take a pay cut. What can I say except giddy up, you're hired.
Where was he working before?
At the Chaco Canyon Cultural Center in New Mexico.
Do you think Alejandro would go to extreme measures, like stealing, to reclaim Mexico's artifacts?
Who knows?
I've got work to do.
See you around. Beach Hill's been hit. Sit tight, Nancy. The police are on their way.
I should talk to Joanna before I touch anything.
Someone has cooked up my worst nightmare and served it to me on a plate.
I'm sorry about the theft, Joanna. It must be a terrible loss for the museum.
That's the understatement of the year.
Did the police find any clues around the display case?
The police took some samples for the crime lab, but they couldn't promise any overnight results. So if you want to put your little magnifying glass up to the scene, it's fine with me.
What were their initial findings?
Who knows? Right now, my priority is to get a move on this insurance claim.
I've got work to do.
Bye. Need something?
Have you seen Henrik? I found a piece of paper inside the Pacal display case. It had some glyphs on it and a print of a red hand. I'm hoping he can give me a translation.
What am I, fish food? Henrik's not the only one around here who can read a glyph, you know.
Okay, great. Did you happen to see the thief's message?
The police showed me the note. It said, "The magician suffers yellow death," whatever that means. Apparently, the thief just couldn't come up with the glyphs for "the curator suffers flaming purple disgrace."
I'm curious about the red handprint the thief left. Does it have any significance in Maya culture?
Afraid I can't help you there. What I want to know is what the hand was printed with. It's obviously not finger paint. Why don't you do a little analysis on it in the lab?
I haven't seen Henrik since the theft. Where do you think he could be?
Who knows?
Okay, I've got a graph of the chemical used for the handprint. Now I've got to match it up with a known substance. That's it. S stands for sulfur. According to this chart, Hg stands for mercury. So the handprint was made from mercury and sulfur.
Need something?
I did the chemical analysis you suggested. That red hand was printed with a compound containing mercury and sulfur. Does that mean anything to you?
Sure, cinnabar. The Maya would rub it into their most important carvings to add definition to the artist's lines.
Does the museum keep cinnabar around?
We use cinnabar here at the museum the same way the Maya did, to keep things as authentic as possible. Henrik orders those kinds of supplies, but we've been out of stock for quite a while. The last I heard, there was some kind of holdup with the distributor.
I've got work to do.
Go to it.
Nancy, hi. It's Franklin Rose. I'm calling because it's just... This theft is very bad news for the museum. You can't imagine the limb we went out on to acquire that Pacal carving. It's been one of the museum's main attractions. I don't want to take you away from your internship, but if you can do a little investigating, well, I think I speak for the whole board when I say we'd be very grateful. Give me a call when you have a chance. And Nancy, thanks.
To replay message. Boswell, Jackson, and Rose, how may I direct your call? This is Nancy Drew, calling for Franklin Rose, please. Just a minute, please.
Nancy, hello. Do you have any news?
The thief left a message in glyphs. According to Joanna, the translation is, "The magician suffers yellow death." What in the world could that mean?
Oh, Nancy, you zero in on a case like a heat-seeking missile, don't you? I feel so much better knowing you're going to follow up on every lead. I'll help in any way I can.
Thanks, Mr. Rose.
That's what I'm here for.
Keep it real. Max speaking.
Hi, do you sell a compound of mercury and sulfur?
Mercuric sulfide? Oh, we sure do. How much do you need? First things first. What account's this for?
Well, the account number is B-H-O-O-H-P, but I'm not sure if we need any.
Well, hello there, B-Till. Hey, you're not Sonny June. Whatever happened to that guy? I suppose he caught a ride on a flying saucer, huh? What a riot. I'm sorry. Anyway, you don't need to reorder, do you? Unless you ate last week's shipment for breakfast, that is.
You're sure it was last week?
Oh, that's what it says here.
Was the package shipped to the museum?
Oh? Oops, I guess we didn't ship it at all. It looks like the package was picked up here at the warehouse.
Do you know who placed that order?
Well, the initials on the order are J.R.
So there hasn't been a holdup at the distributor or anything like that?
Hold up. Oh, I don't know where you heard that. We've got enough mercuric sulfide in-house to sink a ship.
Can you remember anything about the person who picked up the package?
I sure can't. Guess I must have been at lunch or something.
Well, thanks for your help.
Sure thing. I hope there wasn't any problem with the stuff, was there? We only used the top-grade mercuric sulfide.
Judging by the impression it left, I'd have to agree that the quality is fine.
Well, you sound a little green in the chemicals department, if you don't mind my saying so. I hope you know that mercuric sulfide is highly toxic. Makes you crazy.
Toxic?
Oh, looks like I've got another call coming in here. You give us a call in about 4 months or so when you start to run out, okie doke? And don't forget to keep it real.
Henrik!
Amnesia? Wow. Henrik must have taken a real nosedive off that pyramid. Do you think he just fell, Nancy? Or was he pushed? Sounds like you need to find out about hospital visiting hours. Yeah, but you'd better get the lowdown from Joanna first. George is right. She is your supervisor, after all. Hello?
Hey, Bess, it's me, Nancy. What's new?
Pouring rain. George and I are in the middle of a heated game of Go Fish, and I'm winning. Don't believe a word she says, Nancy. Last hand, I made mincemeat out of her. Anyway, we don't want to make you homesick. How's the internship going?
Everything was going great until someone broke into a display case and stole one of the museum's most valuable artifacts, a jade carving of King Pacal.
Who was King Pacal?
He's considered one of the great Maya rulers. He reigned at the height of the Maya civilization.
So what happened?
Well, apparently the civilization was never quite the same after he died.
No, silly, with the theft. What happened with the theft? Who are your suspects? Do you have any clues?
Easy, ladies. Let's just say that so far, I have more questions than I do answers. But don't worry, I'm on the case.
There goes your low-key internship. Honestly, Nancy, it never will cease to amaze me